What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer A Day with TK. It's Monday evening here in Findlay, Ohio. Just got done my prison class, so I got out a little bit late today. But luckily, when I got home, there was a nice beer waiting for me. So the beer I have today is from a brewery called Quenched and Tempered, and it's called John's Beere. So if you look closely, we got a little bit of a deer on here. Interesting little can art on there. We have a little bit of a blurb here. It says, in 1837, a famous American blacksmith engineered a new style of plow to cut through the sticky Illinois mud. In 2019, a few metal workers turned brewers created a beer to cut through the pesky American thirst. All American malt, honey, and hop blend into a dry and malty rye ale with a crisp, bitter finish. Nothing drinks like a deer. So obviously a bit of a play on the John Deere. I went and looked up this brewery because I'd never heard of them previously. It looks like they're in the town of Grand Rapids, Ohio. If you watch the series, you know Anderson and I traveled there a while back, a couple months ago, and we went to Neon Groundhog and Wildside that were both there, but I was unaware these dudes even existed. I don't know, maybe they didn't back then. But they're out now. I went to the website. It looks like they have a tap room coming soon to Toledo, Ohio. So Grand Rapids, Ohio, not to be confused with Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's not too far from Toledo. So I guess they're going to brew in Grand Rapids and have the tap room in Toledo, which would be pretty cool. So this one comes in at 6% ABV. I went to the website to check out some of the other beers that they had. They had one called Fahrenheit 419. So obviously a play on the old Fahrenheit was at 451. 419 is the phone code, the area code for Northwest Ohio. So Fahrenheit 419, which is a pale ale. They had Odie McOatface, so obviously play on the Bodie McBoatface, which was an oatmeal stout, and a couple of other beers. All look pretty good. I saw this up at Bowling Green Beverage Center. Like I said before, BG Beverage Center is probably one of my favorite six-pack shops around. They have all kinds of individual cans, all kinds of six-packs, and it was the first time I saw them, so I figured I'd give them a shot. Always happy to check out some new, somewhat local breweries. They're probably an hour from here or so, not that far away, so pretty hyped to give it a shot. And this one has 25 IBUs. As far as ratings, there wasn't a whole lot. Untapped, it had a 3.59. I think on Untapped, all their beers combined might have had about 800, 900 check-ins, so, not tons. Beer Advocate, nothing, no info. For the glass today, going with the Beer Camp one. This was that awesome spot up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Anderson and I went to. They did the smoked meats and beer. So let's check this one out. Nice amber color. As far as the head, that's at least a finger and a half. Nice white frothy head. That looks really good. Let's give it a sniff. Smell. Kind of pick up the nice rye smell. You pick up a tiny bit of sweetness as well. But it's not a real strong nose on it, which is fine. Not everything has to have a crazy nose, right? Yeah, it smells good. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. Nice beer. I did a rye beer yesterday, and I talked about how I don't see them that frequently, and then I found another one, so I was pretty happy to do back-to-back ryes. The rye I did yesterday, I think, was probably drier, a bit more peppery, spicy. This one is not quite as peppery. This is probably medium bodied, medium light, not super heavy. Medium bodied, has a nice mouthfeel to it. Definitely feels nice and silky like it's supposed to. Not really not silky like an oatmeal stout or something like that, or a nitro stout, but has a nice body to it. A lot of times when you get beers from smaller breweries, they tend to be like a bit thin and watery. This doesn't. This tastes like it's supposed to. I really like the composition, the texture, the way this one's put together. As far as the flavors, you got a couple of things going on. You definitely pick up that nice rye taste, which to me still always tastes like a little bit kind of like peppery. But you also get the honey as well that counterbalances. So the one I had yesterday was Great Black Swamp. Kind of didn't have that sweetness to counterbalance it. It was more like a straight up rye. This is the rye with a little bit of honey. Takes a little bit of the edge off. A little bit dry. It's a decent tasting beer. Like I said, I don't know how long these guys have been in business. I'm trying to see if it says 6%, 25 IBUs. Yeah, it doesn't say how long they've been around. But based on the check-ins, not that long. If you go to the webpage, it gives you a little bit of backstory. Looks like these are all blue-collar guys that started brewing on their own, kind of enjoyed it, wanted to take it to the next level, and created their own brewery. Because one of the things I love about doing these videos, and one of the things I like about going and visiting different breweries, meeting with the brewers, I love hearing the stories. I love hearing how, for the most part, it's a bunch of people, men, women, whoever, making some beer on their own who thought, hey, this is pretty good. Let's kind of try to sell this and take it to the next level. And so many of them are doing so well. It's also really cool to hear the backstory. So we went up to Urban Woody and did that, Beers with the Brewers, kind of talked to them. I was up in Iced Here this past weekend, got to talk to those guys. Iced Here Brewing in Bowling Green. And, it's just always fun to hear the stories. So when you hear about these guys are metal fabricators, hardworking, blue collar dudes starting a place and it's starting to take off. They're going to open a spot in Toledo. Always excited. This is the American dream, right? This is what this is all about. Start small, build it up, and maybe one day do something wonderful, right? Maybe make a lot of money. And even if you don't make a lot of money, make a lot of good beer, make a lot of people happy. So, John's beer from Quenched and Tempered, you will get a thumbs up. I look forward to trying some more of your beers. I know they had a few more 6-packs up there at the BG Beverage Center. Maybe I'll have to take a ride up to Bowling Green this weekend and scoop up one of the other ones and give it a shot. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. I know Malted Gentleman and I think somebody else jumped in talking about the rye beers. Let me know what you think about rye beers. I think they're really underrated. You really don't see them on the shelves, but they have a really nice, unique flavor to them. I'm a huge fan of rye bread. I like that rye, the dimension the rye adds to a beer. So let me know what you think of them. Hey, till next time, cheers. Have a wonderful work week.